Being lazy has made me incredibly fucking rich at an incredibly young age. And this next video, the next 10 minutes or so, is going to be the exactly how and how I use leverage within my own life in order to get to where I want to get to. So if you're following along and you're maybe a newer entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur who feels like you're struggling, you're putting up a lot of activity, you're working hard, but you've not quite yet reached that escape velocity to get to the life that you desire, then listen up, because you might be doing it wrong. You might be doing it completely backwards, my friend. You might actually be working too hard, and all is going to make sense. Just follow along. There's been a heavy misconstruction about making money in the whole online space. You know, the hustle culture, the grinding, the bro grinding phase. And it works to a degree. However, above all else, none of that actually matters if you go on to work on the wrong things. And this is part entirely what this video is going to be about, how through different stages of my life, I employed leverage through quote unquote looking like I was being lazy. However, in my mind, these were some of the most tactical plays that I had ever made, and I wish that somebody had informed me of this sooner, because even up to now, out here on holiday, probably doing the littlest work that I've probably done all year, and I'm going to make the most money this week that I've made all year. And I'm not obviously saying that to gloat or anything, I'm just saying that, like, you guys need to understand the leverage available to you in life that is possible, because I always knew that there was something available in life where there's people who are making more money doing less. And, you know, I couldn't wrap my head around it. And then I understood, well, you know, there's elements of leverage that people induce within their businesses and personal lives which allow them to do so. And so it's all about just unlocking that, and it comes from a lot of mental reframes and belief systems that you have to absolutely shatter, because the general day-to-day life of 99% of the population is nowhere near operating on these wavelengths. So without further ado, we crack right onto the rest of this and explain to you how you can adopt some of this and start to instill it within your own life to achieve whatever it is that you desire. So let's get one thing straight. When I say lazy, I don't mean I'm sitting over here on one of these sunbeds, doom scrolling, laying in bed till midday, doing absolutely nothing and going out partying and just being an absolute degenerate. No, of course not. I mean lazy in the sense that tactically, I will always look for the simplest path to achieve whatever it is that I'm setting out for. And this is where I have a problem with this whole hustle culture, because there is this working 12 to 14 hours a day, but how much of that is actually productive, and how much of that work actually mattered? How much of that work actually made an impact on what it is that you are trying to do? Because more often than not, I will see people grinding, looking like they're locked in, but they're making less money than people working 1 to 2 hours a day. And of course, they've worked up and built up to that stage. You go through the different periods. However, I still see people a few years on in business still in this like rat race. It's like the online money making rat race, and it's sad to see, but yeah, there's a way out, I promise you. So lazy has very many obviously negative connotations, but I'm here to obviously explain what the most positive one can be to you. So I'm actually going to relay this to 3 practical working times that I use laziness to my best advantage. And let's start this off with number 1, when I was first starting out my journey. So I've gone through school these times. I was quite a clever kid, and university is the obvious next step. So I went to sixth form, which is usually where the cleverer people, I say cleverer, that's not even a word, the more intelligent people went. Most of the less clever people went to college and stuff. So I had the opportunity to go to university. I think I got accepted to the 3 top universities in my country, and I turned them all down. I was like, you know what, fuck that, I don't want to go. So I didn't really like learning, I didn't like school, I didn't really see the total value in it, especially with where I wanted to be in life. Like, do you think a uni degree got me here? Let's be honest, uni degree wouldn't have got me anywhere near here. I see them as some of the most invaluable documentations of the current modern day. Some of my SOPs are worth more than the little piece of paper that you get for attending a university. Anyway, so I actually got myself a job at Tesco. And back then, this was a real tough decision, right? A really tough decision to go and sign up to Tesco. This was obviously coronavirus times, etc. But when I was there, it was hard. All of my friends, at the current time were going to university. My friends' parents were quizzing me up, asking me what I'm doing with my life. Oh, you can't just work at Tesco forever. Like, you were so intelligent. You should have gone to uni, you should have done this, that. Look at me now. But anyway, non-egotistically, you have to sort of understand that. And when you have a vision in your mind, you need to hold that so greatly, with such an intense desire, and understand that with enough force and effort, it will come to materialization. I said a few weeks ago I wanted to get a nice big villa out up in the countryside. And little did I know it, a couple of weeks later I've materialized that as a reality in my life. But returning back to the more pertinent point, is the fact that I went to Tesco, and that seemed like a super unleveraged play, but you know what that allowed me to do? I worked part-time, I was making a little bit of money to get by, I was able to do what I needed to do, attend networking events, keep learning, had a little bit more time available, hence with being part-time. I worked in a really low leverage position. I was working as like a cashier at a petrol station, and now, if any of you want to know, that's like one of the most leveraged positions to be in, because the transaction petrol station is literally just take the money and go. In the supermarket, you have to be a little bit more attentive. So while I was there, I had my YouTube up on the side. I was watching podcasts, I was gaining knowledge points, I was learning. And back these times I was learning how to trade before I transitioned into OFM, but that was one of the most early learning points I had about leverage, because to me it made sense, but to 99% of people it won't, because it looks like laziness, it looks like you're doing the wrong thing. But when you understand where you are and where you want to get to in life, nothing else really fucking matters. And this is a really important quote as well. It's just like, no one cares about the storm, my boy. They just want to know if you brought the ship home. Because this goes on to say, it's like, if you're going to choose the lazy route, you have to make it work. Otherwise you build it like a retard. Like, imagine I had then gone to Tesco and still been there to this current day and didn't make it work, then yeah, I mean, like, I would have proved all of my friends' mums and dads right, and look like an absolute idiot. And they would look like the godsend child that went to university, but neither here nor there. So going to actually getting a paid job, a part-time job, allowed me to have the time availability, the capital availability to reinvest into myself, and that time availability to reinvest into myself. And so I could start to learn about this business, like learn about online money. And in doing so, it was one of the best decisions I ever made, especially because I knew it was on the cusp of this coronavirus time, where I started to see a lot more ads pop up, I started to see a lot of social media stuff pop up, and I always knew it was a thing, but you've got to remember, we are literally in the phase of development where life is changing right now. Social media only got created, I think, about 2013. Instagram came out, so it's 10 years old. The iPhone came out maybe like 2007 or something. Like, the digital economy is only forever growing, and in understanding that, I knew the opportunity that was available and presented to me. And I also knew that there was a lifestyle, a life available to me where there was these massive points of leverage that I could induce, even to the point of now, like, I can do significantly less work and make significantly more money. Because I understand these concepts so thoroughly. And it obviously does take the grinding phase to go through that, to internalize what I'm telling you here, because I can only tell you this from relayed experiences, but until you go and do it yourself, the mental internal belief system will not be shattered. And so going a little bit more onto what I'm going to speak about within the video, you'll start to understand exactly what I mean by this. In short, university is a 4-year commitment, an absolute fucking scam, don't do it. So let me move into the next phase of my story. And here's where it got really interesting, because as you guys probably know, if you know my story or don't, I was trying to trade the foreign exchange markets, got hit by one of them Instagram retargeting ads by a guy with a gold Porsche or something. Little bastard's name was Laxira. Deposited some money, signed up, lost like 3 bills, wanted to literally kill myself. And then carried on hustling, but didn't stop that, carried on reinvesting. And then I eventually bought access to an online community. Now, in here was one of the subset side hustles, which was OFM. OnlyFans management, and this was new to me, but I saw a bunch of people winning. And obviously this is the back end of coronavirus times. This was probably when the business and the business model grew so exponentially. And you know when they say, like, when there's a gold rush, you need to sell shovels? It was kind of a little bit like that, because there was all of this demand for the online attention of these models. And I was just facilitating I was just being the middleman in between the buyers and the sellers, and making sure that I could bring more of them together and just taking my fee, the management fee, right? And at the time, I obviously didn't fully understand this. It was just a business model that I was trying to get my hands on to make some more money. But looking back now, it was one of the greatest decisions I made, because of the timing, which I got into the market right before it went exponential. So in a market where it's something like this, like maybe AI nowadays, is all you have to do is hustle and you'll make money inadvertently, whether you have the skill set or not. So as long as you're doing the right things at the right time, you'll make money. And this is what I say to people, this is what I'm trying to get through to you in this video, is that, like, you don't need to be a genius. You don't need to hustle 16 hours a day. You just have to do the right things at the right time, and you'll make cash. And if cash is one of the things that you are, going after these days, and I think everyone could do with a little bit more, regardless of their position, then you need to carry on listening to the rest of this video so you can fully understand exactly what I'm saying. So like I say, once I found out about this business model, I knew how it worked, social media management, which I already thought I was a beast at marketing. I didn't really know much, but I thought, how hard can it be? You're working with hot females online. You're selling one of the most, sought after products in a digital manner. So you've now got that leverage available to you. Cost of marketing is basically zero because you're just doing social media management. Signing models was significantly easier because everyone was joining the platform at this point and wanting to get a slice of the pie. The market was ever expanding. I think it was growing probably like 200+% a year, and this is a multi-billion-dollar market. So as long as you were just operating within by natural gravitational pull, you're going to succeed. So when we talk about OFM, like you're not creating a product, you're not holding any inventory, and you're doing no customer service on a physical item. You're partnering with somebody who already has the asset, their bodies or whatever else there is they're selling online or on their profiles, the creator. And then you're taking a percentage of what you generate for her. And like I say, this was one of the biggest unlocks for me. It was like the opportunity for this, to partner with somebody in a space which is growing and also super sought after, where the demand versus the supply was so inversely, I think, correlated, that just being positioned was one of the best move that I'd ever made. And I say it comes from a point of laziness is because like I have all these other business models which I could have chose. I had the university route, I had probably some other business models. We tried to do vending machines, clothing lines, even the foreign exchange market. All of it was really hard and difficult. Versus this one, I got in, I had some quick wins, and after I saw some quick wins, I dropped everything and doubled down. And that's a bit scary in and of itself. However, once you understand the opportunities that you have available to you, you got to go for it, man, because then the window of opportunity won't last forever. And so if you're gonna pussyfoot around, worry about whether it's time to double down, whether like, when something sounds too good to be true, well, sometimes that's because it is. And sometimes it's not actually so negative, even though we're taught to think that. So that's when I talk about reframing some of those beliefs. It's just because something's too good to be true. In the leverage that I was seeing available to me within this business model, people can call it a scam, they can call it what they want, but I saw tangibly the results that people were generating, that what I was actually generating for myself within the first couple of months of being within. I didn't invent a brand new business model. I found the right vehicle at the right time and went all in. And I wouldn't even say that's luck. I would say that's tactical laziness. And all of this actually goes on to translate to where I see myself sitting now. And this was really one of the most important points of this video, especially for any aspiring or concurrent entrepreneur, because laziness is probably how I make the most money right now, to this present day. In and that of when I'm working, I'm always looking for what can be outsourced. When something has been outsourced, I'm always looking for, is there a system that can be created around it to make it replicable, to improve it? So I'm always looking at what the more leveraged actions are. And like I say, even here to this day, where I'm sitting out here on a balcony, sunny day out here in Cyprus, even though I'm not sitting in the sun, I probably need to go collect some sun points in a minute, is that I've built a team which allows me to fulfill for clients. I've built a recruitment engine which allows me to sign more clients. I've built a marketing system which allows me to get results for those clients. I've built a sales system which allows me to generate results, I guess, even further from those clients, or monetize off the audience that my marketing system is bringing. And then I built an operational system where my operations manager can sit in and oversee everything. And it's just like, wow, it wasn't all that hard. Like, I've just explained it to you here now. And of course you have to go through the stage, and that's when I talk about I'm not actually physically lazy. I will still go through that Q1 lock-in period. Even Q2 now, it's not like I'm just fully offline for the whole of the quarter, but I'm working in a different way now. And I think that's what a lot of people need to understand. And there's another way of working with leverage as well, is you just have to work conducive to whatever your current position is. Like if you're starting out at zero, well, probably need to put all of your time into building sales assets, building your personal brand, building a brand centered around what you are trying to achieve. So whether that's within OFM, like a brand, like a personal brand around OFM, which when you are doing outreach now for clients actually generates results from that. You probably need to just put all of your time on outreach. See a lot of people looking at their current position and they don't optimize for their current main constraint. And that's another big unlock for me, is when I talk about laziness, it's just like I will always just work out what my main constraint is at whatever point of life I am at, because that's where you unlock the most leverage. Like this is when I'm kind of going to round off the video, but what could you do in your life right now, which if you had only worked at would unlock the most amount of scale? And you need to ponder on that thought for a moment, because I got it wrong so many times. Like I'm like, oh, I need to do this, or I need to do that. More recently, I've just started to think in the way of just like, if I ignore this, would everything crumble? No. Started ignoring it, focused on what matters, and the business grows. And it's really difficult to see, because you think that you have to be busy all of the time, but a lot of people just confuse activity with progress. And that's something that you really need to try and like shake, because my 1 hour's work a day now could probably do what my 12 could have done a year ago. And it's crazy when you think about that. It's just because like, yeah, there's literally leverage available to your life. How do you think people are making multi-$100,000 a month? Do you think they're sitting there recruiting themselves? Do you think they're sitting there posting on IG accounts themselves? Do you think they're sitting there, I don't know, chatting on accounts themselves? No, they're not. They've built a system and team that runs for them, and so that they can work and continually buy back their time, to buy back their bandwidth, to reallocate that time into something more, I guess, appropriate or something more conducive to get to the next stage of what they are. And it's all about optimizing for what stage you are currently at. Like I say, analyze your own chessboard, because the plays that I make today are not the plays that beginners are going to make today. But that said, you know, the lazy route can oftentimes present you the most simplistic, I guess, roadmap for succeeding and pushing on to the next level. Like I say, every hire I make is designed to buy back my bandwidth and actually have something getting achieved on behalf of me. I always say it's like we need more soldiers in the field. I need more troops on the front line who are all pushing forward with me. And it goes on to say about these, I think they're called Trojan horses or something. No, Trojan horse is something else. There's these famous horses where, like, if they are pushing to, or pulling one by one, they can maybe pull 1 ton. But together, 2 of them can pull like 3.5 tons. So the net multiplier effect of having like a good team with you is not just linear. It's not like if you now have 2 operators, you're now achieving 3x output. But if you have 2 operators, you can now achieve 4, 5x output. It's exponential, especially when you've got the right people in the right places. Every system I build is designed to remove decisions from my own plate. So I am not always having decision fatigue. I'm not having everything run through me. But not only that, replicate high quality value delivery at scale. And that might go over a few people's heads, but that's essentially all you are doing. You're just basically documenting a way that you can consistently deliver value, and maybe it's you do it yourself first, but once you've done it yourself once, look at, okay, right, documenting this, add in contingency, add in, you know, frameworks for discretion, and then you can outsource, and then you stay on top of that person to make sure it's all being done well, and then you move on to the next thing, your next biggest constraint, and go again. It's like that simple. And so everything that I'm talking about in this video is not laziness in the negative sense. It's really all just leverage. And leverage, honestly, is pretty much the only way to reach escape velocity, especially when you have very large, big goals, dreams, and aspirations. You aren't going to get there solo. Maybe with the power of AI now, there's a one-person billion-dollar company, but you're not that guy. I'm not that guy. 9 times out of 10 of us, 99 out of a million of us are not those guys. So in that sense, like, you just got to optimize for where you are at currently and keep doubling down, my boy. So like, this is where most people get it wrong, because you might be in that grind phase right now, or you've been in it before, and you just wondered why nothing worked. Because again, do not confuse activity with progress, because working harder on the wrong things will invariably lead to no change. And that's why the answer is usually, whenever I've looked at it, it's not always to work more. Usually it's to work differently, and differently with more leverage. And so once you can clearly see that and understand it conceptually, internally, you'll have so much clarity to know where your time and energy can be best allocated, and you'll start to materialize reality at like the snap of a finger. So look at your life right now. Look at it as a bit of a chessboard in terms of the next tactical play that you can make. If you make this one, you know, wherever all the other variable pieces going to move. But do not overcomplicate. Maybe instead of chess, let's look at it as checkers. Instead of even checkers, look at it like a game of Connect Four. Let's make it as simple as, let's look at it as a game of noughts and crosses. Make it as simple as possible, guys. And the reason I'm there saying that is because where can you now reallocate your time, focus, and energy to actually achieve the highest return? Because if you did a time audit on where your week's time, energy, and effort was spent, you would probably be horribly disgusted. Pull up your screen time right now on your phone. How much time is spent usually on these social media apps? How much did you consume rather than create? And that alone will probably give you enough mental nudge, enough fire under your ass to do something about this. Create a little mini plan, but more often than not, bro, you already know what it is that you need to be doing. And it's just about taking the uncomfortable action in order to do so. So listen, this video was just a quick wrap up, and videos proceeding are going to be of a similar nature, where I'm just giving advice back to my younger self. And hopefully in that, a lot of you guys will take the value from it, because I wish I had this. If I'd have understood some of these concepts, which I'm going to be relaying to you guys over the course of these weeks and months and hopefully even years on YouTube, then I would have been a lot further ahead. And a lot further ahead is obviously where oftentimes all of us want to be. We're all striving for these big, audacious goals, and we've got the power to get them. I know it myself. I have. You should know it yourself that you have. You've just got to keep doing the right things at the right time. Be patient and let it come. So if you're at a point in your life where you feel like you're working incredibly hard, not seeing results, and can't work out quite why, go have a little quick conversation with AI. If you want to speed track, fast things up, then drop me a message down below on my Instagram. I'll just give you a quick free audit on where I think that you might be going wrong and how I think that I might be able to help. And Hopefully that should give you some more mental clarity so you can just tunnel vision ahead, take the right actions, achieve whatever it is that you desire. As always, been Double M, Money Mace, or just Mason. Catch you in the next video.